You're tuned into the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 139 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I make incredible beats that are affordable and very well priced. I'm that dude, man. I'm your favorite producer, man. I'm just going to let y'all know that. Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Michael.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I like that t-shirt you got on there.
Thanks. It's from
Something special's happening.
Yeah, it's a shirt from Diop.
Yeah, that's
from
dope.
his Still Shining documentary.
Shout out to the homie. That's what's up. I'm hearing good things about that, so that's what's up.
It's good.
DJ Jay Diff, how are you, sir?
Salutations. I'm good, man.
Good to see you as
How
always.
you doing?
I'm good, bro. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You figuring it out?
Yeah, I'm trying, man. You know, it's a crazy world we live in. I'm trying to figure it out, though.
It's a day at a time, huh?
Day at a time, man. We getting older, bro.
Cool.
You know, body don't recover as fast. Tried to hoop. You know, it's just different out here.
Oh, yeah?
You know what I'm talking about? But I'm getting better, you know.
Did you have a heart attack?
No, I didn't have that. Thanks for wishing that on me. That's bad.
Could you breathe?
Is that what that was?
Was you breathing?
Yeah, I was breathing.
Sound like a question.
I had to stretch for like 20 minutes, though.
All right.
Before
to
or
good,
after?
man.
Way before. Yeah, way before. To my left, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. It was interesting to hear your tremendous humility on your new intro.
Yeah, man, just trying to stay humble.
He's
I
definitely
remain
feeling
humble.
himself, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I'm great. Yourself?
I'm doing good, brother. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to hear that.
But it's all about humility, man. Just remain humble. Try
It's
to
important.
anyway. Yeah, 100%.
You got that. You got that down pat based on
Yeah.
that intro. So.
Yep. The humble brag is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what we'll call that. But
Right now.
thank you, sir. The rest of the crew is in the building. Red August is here. I think he's in here somewhere. 𝐊𝐃𝐄 is here.
And
Jay
they're
Moore.
doing a Charleston.
Yeah, I saw him doing the Charleston. Jay Moore, Kansas City Mac, is sipping on a glass or something. Got his feet up, kicking it. He's in the building as well. So we have a segment where you probably hear from these gentlemen a little later on, but we'll get to that a little bit down the road. Episode 139 again of the New Old Heads podcast. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our topics. First topic here. This actually was a suggestion from one of our patrons. Shout out to Abraham Leon, a.k.a. Poppy Amon. He talked about rappers that have expanded their brands in terms of business ventures and going outside of just rap. Who's been successful and who has failed. To me, it's funny that Ice Cube was actually just here for the Big Three. I think he's a huge candidate for someone that's been successful when you talk about movies. Obviously, he's legendary for his rap, but the way that he's continued to expand his brand beyond music and even movies now to start his own league, you have to respect that. Like from what I've heard, Spoolz, you actually went to the event. From what I see and from what I've watched, like the presentation is dope. He's got a lot of credible veterans and people that that were in the league, champions, and some great players. Amari Stoudemire, Joe Johnson, these guys. And they're really out there getting after it. So how was your experience, Spoolz, in terms of the Big Three when it came to NAP?
It was fun, man. Had a good time. Shout out to my cousin Colin and his buddy. I'm trying to remember what his name is off the top of my head. I feel like an asshole.
We still appreciate him.
It's John. I'm sorry, John. Shout out to John and Colin. Anyways, no, it was fun. The pack, like it's well put together. They are getting after it, man. Like they're really playing ball. The concept I think is really cool, and I would definitely go back and watch it again. Joe Johnson was just eating everyone's lunch.
That's
dude.
what I keep hearing, man.
Yes.
I heard he was out there, as they say, in his bag.
Yeah. Amari's playing. He played real well.
Word.
J.O. was there, Jermaine O'Neal, but he didn't play. I don't think he dressed. But it was fun, man.
Shout out to Cube, man.
But as far as the topic, you said people in the hip hop industry, rappers specifically, or MCs who have ventured out.
Yeah, expanded their brand and just been successful outside of, just the
my mind,
rap.
just to think of the first person that came to mind for me was E40.
Wow. Okay.
E40 raps about it. E40's into real estate, and he's got his own line of fine wines as well as his own line of liqueurs, on top of other things. So yeah, I think he's done a really good job with it. I think it'd be real with all the stuff he's done with marijuana in California.
Nice.
As far as branching out and like doing more things and like, I mean, he still does music with like Prophets of Rage and stuff like that, but he's definitely branched out. You automatically think of people like Jay-Z, of course, and Puffy and, you know, all that. I'm trying to think of people outside of that, though, that...
No, that's what's up.
You know what I mean? That's maybe a little bit more off the beaten path that wouldn't immediately pop up. Failures, I can't think of too many.
There's a few.
Ja Rule is the first one that pops into my mind. I mean, that's obvious, though. That's like a home run, like fastball down the middle. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Jay Diff, tell me about some failures. You jumped in there.
Well, I'll tell you about a winner. I think probably the greatest achiever as far as the actor lane is probably Will Smith. So, of course,
like
you got to
that.
mention him. Common, of course. You know, these are two artists that have respectfully won awards on both the music and acting side of the game. So
That's a fact.
it's a pretty good transition. As far as failures, I mean, there are some ideas that start off good and kind of tank. You know what I'm saying?
Festival type stuff.
For example, definitely Ja Rule, the Ja Rule situation. There's a cat that we talked about that Spoolz was not feeling his video game system at all in one episode.
Man.
Yeah, he did not.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who was that?
Yo, shout out
Soldier Boy.
Shout out to Lone with the with the owl noise there. That's what's up.
You want to know what's something funny, though? I'm not sure he's actually been a failure.
Well, he's not a failure overall.
You're getting to my point.
Yeah.
He's not a failure overall, but there's like the reason why I said that's a failure because people were saying that they weren't receiving their consoles. So
Yeah,
essentially,
that's unfortunate. I didn't even know that.
but he's
That
locked
sucks,
up too.
Yeah, he locked up on
He's
top.
locked
I'm
of
not
that.
laughing about him being locked up. That's shitty. I'm laughing about people not getting their consoles.
They
Yeah,
definitely
they
didn't get
didn't
their
get
consoles.
Who else? Of course, Ja Rule. We already know he just screws himself.
Yeah, they had bologna sandwiches out there in them streets.
Man, he has to hate 50 right now.
Were they fried
Because
bologna?
50's
No, they probably. I don't think they could afford to fry them. Like they just had regular bologna
Yeah.
with the red part
Cold-
still
cold
around.
bologna.
It.
yeah, it's just bad, man. But I
They
heard
got
he's
the
trying
water,
to
though.
do
True.
2.0.
Oh, okay.
Fire 2.0. Yeah, we know how that's
Yeah, we
gonna
know
go.
how that's gonna go.
But I mean, he has to hate 50 because 50 is a good example of somebody who's winning.
Man,
Because he took his record deal.
Yeah.
I think his first venture was the vitamin water.
yes, I think he started with.
He made a
vitamin.
lot of money on that. I know
He
that.
did.
Yeah,
He's transitioned into the Power TV show.
he's a beast with
He
that.
has a
He took his
liquor.
loss really well with Kanye, too.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He took it on
Remember
the chin.
that? Yeah.
He had the F in vodka.
Yeah.
Is that a
He's got
vodka?
the F in vodka.
Okay, right.
He's doing like fight promotion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that he's doing. I guess it's kind of hard to remember the people that are failing at this shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You know, a lot of people have clothing lines that don't take off.
That's you know.
Birdman had a pair of lugs that were trash.
Yeah, they was super
remember those?
trash.
No.
You don't?
It was
don't.
trash. Kato said he had a pair. He probably got them on now. He have them on? Yeah,
Might be
they
able to
was trash.
get a little pretty penny off that.
Huh?
now.
Still having them?
Yeah, if you still got them.
I actually was working at Finish Line when those came out. The packaging was trash. The box was trash. It had like a little silver bird logo on it. The mug was whack.
What's fucked up, though, you know, the trend now is that chunky shoe.
Yeah.
And that was a
Yeah.
chunky-ass shoe.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to
somebody-
lugs though. Everybody, I had a pair of lugs. I'm talking about the boots. I did have a pair of those back in. We probably dating. I'm
Uggs?
dating myself. I didn't say Uggs. See, I'm probably
It's okay,
dating
Mike.
myself. But
Mike walking around with snow boots.
see, that's
Them,
oh,
them Napoleon Dynamite
don't do
joints.
that. You had a pair of lugs at some point, right?
I did.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I had lugs clothes, too.
Okay,
I ain't go front.
that's what I'm saying. Just we keep it a buck.
You guys ever get tired of stepping in the club with the same pair of lugs?
I think by the time I was going to the club, I
Yeah.
wasn't wearing lugs.
I
wore lugs in high school.
As did I.
Yeah.
just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Hey, Lone, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So, do you have anything to add
Contribute?
about
Yeah, I was
rappers
waiting.
or lugs or
I
anything?
was waiting.
Did you
know, my
rock
turn.
lugs? I knew you back then. I don't think you had lugs.
No, didn't wear lugs. No, I think it's an interesting conversation. Look, even the people that are failing, the people even that you're talking about that are failing at a high level.
Facts.
Right.
So can you? I may look at success a little different than some people. Not even necessarily anybody here in this room, really, but I think failure is a good thing. So it's how you rebound off of that. Life is full of small failures that turn into less small failures and so forth. So. Ja Rule's
learning experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so the fact that Ja Rule's coming back and trying again, good for him. I don't know how much luck he's going to have with that, but if he believes in it, but he has definitely taken some L's throughout the year.
Years.
True.
If they fry, if they fry the bologna,
you think
to me that enhances.
It's a step up.
Yeah. It was cold last year. At least take the red line off and fry it.
They had the guy that definitely went the extra step to get the water secured.
Yeah.
So
he was willing
and able.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Definitely able.
But no, I think that realistically, the failures, the reason why we can't think of them are a lot of times it's people that don't actually make those attempts or don't, if you're not in the conversation of being a failure, then you're not putting yourself in the conversation anyways.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I feel on it. So it's kind of a weird topic to me. But because we know Jay-Z's a success. We know 50's a success.
Everybody forgets about who comes in second place.
That's true.
If you ain't first, you last.
Yeah.
And there can be multiple people that are in first place.
Man.
That's why I still love 40 and just his music and he's literally talking about teaching people, telling people to diversify their shit, what he's doing, much like Jay-Z did with in a way with 444.
I think people that are have successfully taken their hip hop career and turned it into something that maybe they want to do more or they can do more of, then you're successful. So I think Killer Mike's highly successful.
Yeah.
Really successful. LP has reinvented himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is what do you rate as successful? What's the credentials in order to be labeled as successful? Because you have certain artists that didn't take necessarily the monetary lane.
Right.
They took the activism lane.
My son.
Sure.
I would consider my son someone to me that I would consider successful with just the campaigns that he has and the things that he does in the community, what he's always preaching, what he's always talking about on his IG. I would consider him successful. You know what I'm saying? Outside of his rap. A lot of people might not even, I know a lot of our followers know Mice or whatever, but I'm talking about there are people that might not necessarily know him for rap.
Yeah.
But he's still out there in the community heavy, putting action behind the things that he says. So to me, that is that's honorable. You got to respect that. He's putting his money where his mouth is.
Growth is success in itself. I mean, when you think about somebody
especially
like Gucci,
if you can measure it. Especially if you can measure it somehow.
Yeah, Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Gucci pretty much.
Absolutely.
He didn't change his life as far as something that's affecting everybody around him or us as fans. He changed his health, the way he ate, the way he moved, things like that, which is an inspiration to people. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a success.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep. And there's lots of people that are, we all have known people that are more independent that have went from this level to this level, raised their levels. You talk to people like 𝗏 from St. Louis.
Yeah.
He's big in doing the things that he's doing, so shouts to 𝗏.
Even the most successful independent person, Tech9.
Tech9.
Yeah, Tech9 might not be somebody that we all listen to on a regular or even fans of, but his lane and
gotta respect
and what he built.
Yeah.
Think of somebody
like no other.
Think of somebody like even if you follow somebody like Phonte, who went from Little Brother to Foreign Exchange to working with the Roots.
Now writing on TV shows.
Open Mike Eagle, who I booked him, 5 years ago.
Now
so him. No, I got to watch him. He's got a show on Comedy Central now. Mega Ran is somebody who we were booking for doing the shows, and now he's doing huge things as well.
Even for production standpoint, if you look at somebody like Stro Elliott, he's always been a beast on production. I caught on a little later, but I still went back and did my research. Now he's literally in the Roots, not performing with the Roots a Roots member.
He was in
That's crazy.
The percussionists or the percussions or something back
in the day. You put me on to them,
So
he's an amazing producer, and for him to get that spotlight to be able to take his push Ableton push around the world and be a member of the Roots. That's crazy.
Even people like Thundercat and Flying Lotus, who some people didn't even know until they pretty much found them through watching Adult Swim,
right,
and listening to the things that they made there or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a success.
I've always heard that, you know, I've kind of modified this throughout the years, but there's a saying that success is when luck, what is it? Preparations meets opportunity or something along those lines. But at the same time, like, success is just staying active and continuing. It's just doing it over and over again and not getting deterred by things, and eventually you're going to be successful.
Yeah. That's what's up. Let's go ahead and go to the next.
Shout out to Drake.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to this next topic. This got me excited. It's the idea of a new Black Star album produced by Madlib. They're saying there are 8 records that are already done between Madlib and Black Star. I myself would be excited for a new Black Star album. And you think about Madlib also getting ready to drop Bandana with Gibbs coming up this week. Am I the only one that's super excited about the idea of Madlib producing an entire Black Star album, or no?
I don't think that would be accurate at all.
Okay, I'm just checking, just making sure.
One of my favorite Most Def 𝐻𝐿 joints is the joint that he has with Slick Rick that Madlib produced. And it's off of Static. I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
Static.
The dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
That joint is hard.
My thing is when I hear announcements like that, it almost makes me feel like it's not going to happen.
It's like, let me wait and see.
Yeah, because like, I mean, there was a time where Black Star was going to start recording new stuff, and they were starting their tour. Matter of fact, I think Proforms were going to open for them one year, right?
Well,
and they canceled their tour.
Yes, it was like a pre-Rock the Bells thing.
Yeah, yeah. So when I hear stuff like that, it's like, why are we talking about it?
Yeah. Rather
than actually seeing it fulfilled and in motion. Like, why do we need to know that there's 8 songs ready for them?
Yeah.
That
was it 8
deters
ready?
Me.
Was it 8 ready, or was it like he had 8 previously?
I think Madlib just recently said something, right?
He said they had 8 joints, basically saying they had 8 joints in the can. It could have been rough drafts
years
or just
ago.
Stuff. Yeah, like just some stuff that they recorded. So, and we'll have to fact check that if we're wrong. We'll get that corrected. But
that
either way,
pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, like either way, that's dope. Just the idea. To your point, to your point though, it's like the fan in you gets excited. It's like, yo, I want to see this happen. But history has shown us, you know, to your point, that it could be a send off. It's like we getting excited for no reason, and it takes 3 years for this to happen.
Jay Electronica syndrome.
It's the chronic effect.
Detox. You know what I'm saying? Like, it falls in that lane.
Yeah.
But
Detox has been in work since Scratch Magazine was out. Y'all remember that shit?
Yes.
I remember when Dre was on the cover of Scratch Magazine talking about Detox?
I have about 15 of them over there.
Lone actually has Scratch Magazine.
I might have that one, actually.
Hey, it's like, I want to hear it when it's out, or show me like a video or something like that. Because even leading up to this Madlib, Freddie Gibbs joint, like we've heard singles, we've seen videos and promo drops.
I mean, it's not time for that. I mean, they're getting ready to drop the MadGibbs joint.
Yeah.
So maybe afterwards, we might hear something.
We'll see. Nas album done.
Man, that would have been good.
Really.
Not really. Go ahead, Spoolz.
What was the last song Most Def and Talib Kweli actually like did together?
No idea.
You got me on that one, man.
They actually did something.
Apparently something on this new
when he changed his name to Yasin Bey, I believe. I think they did something. It was like one blurb.
Okay.
Real quick.
I'm sleep on the last time they actually collabed.
That'd be pretty awesome. Like just the idea of it. I mean, I don't know. But you know, to your guys' point, I don't see it happening. Like, you know, like I'm not holding my breath.
I see it happening. I just don't think that there's a time. Like, I don't think we should hold timetable to it. You know what I mean? I feel like they're at points in their careers where they don't need to if they don't want to.
It's not happening anytime soon. Maybe
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come out until after the 3rd Madlib and Freddie Gibbs album.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of similar to when Big Boy said that they had these beats ready for
Tribe Called
Quest. The Tribe. You know, it's kind of hard to be excited for something you're never going to get.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's dope. Not really.
It's not really. Yeah.
There's nothing.
It was fun a little bit for a little while to think about it, like, man, what could have been. But to your point, it's kind of like reality sets in, and it's like, all right, I'm never gonna hear this material, so it is what it is.
But
speaking of,
if it happens, let's do it.
Right. Speaking of Yasin Bey and we were talking about MadLib. So Yasin Bey and Black Thought on a joint called Education on this upcoming bandana. I'm very curious to hear how that goes. Pusha T and Killer Mike on the same record called Palm Olive. I'm really curious to see how that goes because I feel like
Pusha T and Killer Mike on it.
Yeah, on the same joint. Who
It's
does that? Who does that? Right?
Who does that?
That's a pretty interesting mix right there.
That's pretty cool though. Considering I know we're gonna get into releases later, but the Benny the Butcher album had features by Black Thought and Pusha T as well, and they both bodied that shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later on. But
the GOAT was on display, huh?
Hey man,
the GOAT being
he was in his bag. We'll talk about the GOAT as well.
So the Gibbs and MadLib project.
Yeah. Bandana.
I remember Gibbs was talking. I saw an interview. He actually didn't want any features on this one.
Right.
But apparently the Killer Mike joint just kind of happened.
Through conversation.
So it's interesting that there's a Black Thought and Yasin Bey joint on there because apparently MadLib was working with Black Star. So that's a little bit of a leeway, a little bit of a tie-in maybe.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe.
True.
Yeah,
it's a bone.
I love seeing like Black Thought's name on a Benny the Butcher album or a Freddie Gibbs album.
Yeah.
Like that's just great to see.
It's incredible, man. Like and that Benny the Butcher track with him on it's the truth. Like
they
somebody wake him up.
Spoolz, you actually somebody wake up Kansas City Mac, please. Spoolz, you actually you know what? I'll get to the Benny later because we were texting about the sample and stuff. But nah, man, the possibility of that joint to me is very exciting. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to run into 𝗏𝗏𝗱 in Indianapolis
and Benny the Butcher
For sure.
It's lit.
guys.
August 24th, Indianapolis. So, what do you guys think? I know you guys have heard the single so far from
Bandana.
Yeah, like Crime Pays and Bandana and what is it, Flat Tummy Tea?
I'm ready to go.
Anything you didn't like from it?
Flat Tummy Tea was dope.
Crime Pays is my favorite from
Crime Pays. The video put me over the top.
Man, that
with
video
Crime
was
Pays.
crazy.
That video is silly.
The video's silly, and I think it's probably my least favorite of the three as far as of the songs are concerned. My favorite's Giannis.
Giannis is
Oh,
dope.
there's
Hands
Giannis
down.
too.
Yeah, Giannis is dope.
Giannis
Is that the
is
one with
one
Anderson?
MVP.
Anderson
Yeah.
.Paak?
With Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, that joint is
However,
hard.
the video for Crime Pays is incredible.
I like Crime Pays the most, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah, like
Bandana too. I don't know.
yeah, like I'm really excited about what this album could be because that
Freddie about to transition over to comedy. I can see him doing some comedy.
He's a
shit,
funny dude.
man.
yeah,
He's
man.
really
Like
funny.
if they make like a something like I'm Gonna Get You Sucker,
yeah.
like a newer similar
Version of
movie to
that,
that, I think he would be somebody good for that shit.
I think
Nah.
he could do that. Yeah.
He's a talented brother, man, and I'm really excited to see how this goes because they didn't miss with the first one. They did not miss.
No.
The first
Indiana
one was crazy.
representative.
Absolutely.
We gonna see, man. Like from what they've released thus far, the vibe is what I would think it would be. For them.
It's
Maybe
kind of hard to lose with that though. That's kind
with
of
that combination.
Freddie's so consistent. MadLib is so consistent.
Yep.
Like,
That's a fact.
you know what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we know what
That's
we're
why
gonna get.
everybody's so like looking forward to this too, especially having heard all the singles. Like
Yeah.
There was an interview with Red Bull probably about 3 years ago, and they were talking to MadLib, and he was talking about they were asking him about Gibbs, and they're
He
working.
took all the beats.
Yeah, he said he took 6 CDs of beats and was like, all right, if nobody else want them, I'll just take them.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, like they come up with Pinata. So
Because it was supposed to be for somebody else, though, right?
I can't remember who it was supposed to be for. That's the part that's slipping my mind right now. But he had them set up for somebody else. they didn't come through, and Gibbs was like, all right, I'll just take all 6 and just rock out.
And if you follow Gibbs' Instagram, which is really funny.
It's just hilarious.
Hilarious.
He actually posted that recently in his story. And in his comments after he posted MadLib Talking, he said, I took all them shits. So, I mean, but.
Why not?
As somebody that worked with Freddie Gibbs at one point in time, how would you say like his selection was when he picked whatever he wanted to do from you?
I think he has a, from production standpoint, great ear from production standpoint. And it's the talent level there is twofold because he can actually hold a note sing on a low. It's real low key.
That's the secret power.
Yeah, like he actually like I remember him saying in the studio like, "Yo, I'm about to." I remember him saying like, "I'm fucking everybody else up with this singing watch," and I'm like, "Huh?" And then I heard some stuff from what would be Cold Day in Hell way back then. So I'm like, yo, you really got this. This is in the repertoire, huh? Okay, cool. But yeah, man, he has a great ear for production and also knowing how to attack it from a style standpoint. Like you can't pigeonhole him because like any dude that can make the album Freddie and then turn around and work with MadLib, you're separating yourself from a lot of people.
What Twice in a Lifetime, was that the name of that one too?
What's the name? I know which one you're talking about. Don't quote me.
But that one was dope. Really,
dope.
really. They're all different, you know.
Black Thought was on. Is that the one where he had another feature from Black Thought?
Well, there's Shadow of a Doubt.
Shadow of a Doubt. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Black Thought was on that album. So if you can do albums like Freddie, you know what I'm saying?
And then there's like the Teddy P one.
Teddy P, which is Freddie.
Yeah, like Freddie, all of that. Like if you can do that, to me,
that interlude where he sang the Silk shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit was hard.
Fucking me.
Yeah. But nah, man, that brother's talented, man. He's good ear for beats, good ear for music.
He said, "Get out here expeditiously."
Yeah, so I'm really excited to hear this
album. I like when he called the one dude the Chi get the yayo looking like. That was the funny shit to me. That's when I started laughing. Like,
yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this album. I think it's gonna be a banger. Hopefully, like I said, we don't want to gas. We try not to gas up stuff, but I have a real safe feeling.
Throw
this
some
is gonna be
kerosene on it, a
little bit.
I think that might be one of the most anticipated projects this year.
Agreed.
So
I think somebody gonna come with a sleeper. I don't know who it is.
Out of nowhere, huh?
There's gonna be something.
There've been a handful of
drops
them.
Out of nowhere.
There've been a handful of them so far, though. I mean, if you think about it, even last week, Benny's project was nobody was expecting
Benny project, man.
You notice they don't really talk. I mean, do they talk a whole lot? I mean, West Side Gun does, but Benny, I feel like, just puts stuff out.
West Side Gun, he'll usually lead it.
Yeah.
You'll see Benny every once in a while on his IG like, yo, I'm in here cooking. It's about to be a rap.
Yeah.
But West Side Gun is like, hey, we the best. I'm letting y'all know now. It's coming out.
Because he's got one July 5th coming out.
Fly Guy is awesome.
Is that when it's coming out?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the them rate the bars? West Side and Conway.
Oh my God, that was so funny, man.
They gave West Side a couple of them, and he was like, "Man, why y'all give me this bullshit?"
He said, "Shit is trash, man.
Trash."
He's like, "This shit is trash, man. I'm giving it a 1."
He's like, "Drip, drip, 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 drip. Get the fuck out of here, man."
I was actually listening to
a Rhapsody thing like that too.
Really?
Yeah, something similar. But
yeah, West Side Gun was clowning on the bars that they get. He wasn't having it. Yeah, he wasn't going.
Yeah, I was actually listening to Premiere show on Shade 45 on the way here.
Okay.
And he was interviewing West Side Gun. No, I'm sorry, Conway and Benny the Butcher were on the show.
Okay.
And somebody actually gave a good example of what that crew is. He pretty much said that West Side Gun is pretty much like the Phil Jackson.
Okay.
He's not really the rapper of the crew or whatnot. He's the one that tried to structure everything. So he knew he had a player that he could throw in the game that was on fire, which would be Conway, the Machine.
And then Pippin would be Benny.
Yeah, Pippin would be Benny. So he's like, he couldn't maneuver it all by himself. So
we
he
need
had
a Rodman.
Pippin.
Who's the Rodman, man?
So he went and got Benny. And Benny was kind of a sleeper because at first, everything that Conway was dropping was just smacking people. And then the last maybe not the last. The Benny that came out.
Tana
maybe
Talk.
Tana
Talk
Talk
3. That's the one.
Hey,
yeah, that's the one.
that shit was heat.
Yep.
Yeah, Tana Talk 97 Hove is probably my favorite song.
Yeah, that shit's
he's
heat.
put out. I think either that or Rubber Bands and Weight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was selling drugs on that one. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
felt like that was a good comparison of the three of them, though.
about? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Benny had put albums out before all that other shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, I guess Conway started blowing up and West Side Gun started. I mean, he'd been making music too. I've got some older LPs that are all real good too. I mean, the dude can rap his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Conway too, man.
They have a
Everybody is
solid
food.
lineup, man.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody is food. 3 from Conway is cold too. So shout out to that brother as
yeah.
well.
And
I mean,
shouts to them for
fucking-
sticking to their model.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure,
So-
man.
Facts.
Indeed.
They have infused hip hop, art, the whole culture. So
Fashion.
it'll be fashion. It'll be exciting. I'm very excited to see those brothers when they come
And they
here.
work with other artists that I like a lot.
Facts.
Like they've
What
had
is
Anderson Paak on shit and Black Thought on shit and like Royce on shit.
Yeah.
Like they work with top tier, in my opinion, top tier artists or artists who
That's
are
a
really,
fact.
really fucking good. So that only strengthens the argument to me.
Definitely. Do y'all think that M is actually influencing them in any way? Because I think he's another one of the success stories in hip hop. Because I mean, he literally has a radio show.
No.
Yeah.
That's
No,
Not
at,
sound-wise.
at this point, no. I just think he actually, the cipher. You know what I'm saying? When they did the cipher together, like the affiliation. Like these dudes are grinding on. They're self-made in terms of their buzz and how they're
Right.
doing it. But I just think the affiliation is what's it's just always it's there.
I think
it's always there.
I think Emma's doing exactly what most people should do.
Yeah.
Do you think he
He's-
should
he's-
do more though with his pool?
I don't think he needs to.
I don't think he needs to. Yeah,
No?
I don't think he needs to. I think him being associated with them and staying out the way has worked well for them.
He's doing what he should have done with Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Because commercial Slaughterhouse went to commercial.
Yeah.
They tried to go down that line, but still, I don't know if you can find a better 4 MCs in a group than those 4.
But these guys are.
They tried to make a mainstream. They weren't
Yeah,
mainstream.
it wasn't working. It wasn't
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
These guys are self-sufficient though. So,
So are all these projects that they're dropping, are they still dropping under the Shady imprint, or these are just
I think it's Shady / Griselda.
yeah.
okay?
I don't
So,
know.
but we like I
But
said,
I'm not
we'll-
100% sure. But to your guys' point, what I've noticed is they have just kind of let them do their own thing. Like, who knows what kind of agreement they have worked
Right,
out. I know
right.
that West Side Gun has hinted at or talked about, like, this shady project that I imagine they owe them or whatever they're
They need a
supposed to do.
tour.
But I've also heard Conway complain on Instagram within signing to Shady about major labels and bullshit and
yeah?
yeah, I've seen,
which is we know that's a part of it.
but
yeah.
I think what it helped them do. So I noticed this today when I was like, just like sitting down and eating. I was like looking at shit. Like Complex had a whole article about West Side Gun's new project coming out and everybody who was featured on it and all the stuff he's been saying. Like, I don't think that was the case pre-Shady.
I agree.
I think that's what signing to Shady has helped do.
Give
is
him
put
the
them-
access.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
That,
And that's what
that's
it-
just enough.
But that's what it should be.
It was
Yeah.
like this
You know what I
push
mean?
up. It was like
Yeah.
this. I feel like is what they
Now
did
you
for
can
them.
get those top tier lyricists on there that maybe you wouldn't get
Yeah.
before. And
Let's,
I mean,
uh,
they
You
Eminem's
would
not
think
been
those
featured on
would be the
anybody's
people
project.
that would fuck with them though.
Yeah, but if you think when we're getting ready to talk about that stuff, but when you talk about top tier lyricists, but also lyricists that are
Yeah.
top tier that have pull, those
Yeah.
are two different things.
Well,
you
let's
know?
let's hold it. Let's
So-
hold that thought there and pay the bills real quick, and then we'll jump into this GOAT conversation. Shout out to all of our partners, bringingdowntheband.com. As always, is the hub. Printfinity, support your local businesses there. Indie CD and Vinyl, we appreciate them also. No Bad Ideas, they continue to lace us with the fresh merch, so we always appreciate them. And then shout out to Coleman Dental as well. What's the number, Long?
317-255-8546.
Thank
Bada
you,
boom,
sir.
bada bing.
Go see Dr. Coleman, get your teeth is right. All right, so let's get into this the conversation about
Ludacris and ODB.
no, man.
Let's keep on talking.
So this is going to be like a multiple.
Yeah, this might turn into
Yes.
a series, if you will,
Yeah, I
perhaps.
think so.
Mhm.
So we talked about stripping down the criteria for what makes the GOAT.
Scrippers?
Scrippers. Shout out to all the scrippers. We're gonna script down the criteria for what makes the GOAT. Now, everybody that's in here, including Kansas City Mac,
Let them
that's
know
on
what
the
we're
couch.
doing though.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get enough criteria that we agree on. So we're gonna ask everybody for a suggestion to define and find. Also narrow down what we're gonna do so we can go to a GOAT conversation. Now we might have
for MC,
greatest MC all time. Now, I think we can go around the room. Let everybody make a suggestion.
Also, just real quick, we're doing like 100.
Is it 100? Yes.
I think so. I think that we could probably do like top 100.
Yeah.
Top 100.
Yeah.
Based on this grading system. So to kind of like maybe explain just a little differently, we're going to figure out tonight and potentially next week what that criteria is, and then rate. I think Shannon made the point earlier, but like get a pool of MCs, 150 or whatever MCs, level that down.
A whole lot of MCs.
And then apply this criteria to those MCs and figure out amongst all of us who's basically the top 100.
That's gonna be fun
MCs.
to narrow. That's gonna be fun.
So it's gonna be a process. To Mike's point, it'll be a series of things that will be used, and we're gonna ask for feedback from our community and feedback from everybody as well, as far as this is concerned.
You can definitely
conversations.
And you can definitely join in on the conversation.
Yeah,
obviously in the comments, but
yes.
You can join in the conversation with us if you sign up on our Patreon.
Yes,
for the $3 option, you get to join our private community. So.
We're looking for a lot of feedback on this one because this is going to be tough. So I'll go ahead and start with and
another thing, real quick.
Yeah,
finding 150 MCs is not really that hard.
No, it's not.
No,
like I came up with 160 in like 40 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be able to narrow down to an amount that we all agree on.
I say we narrow it down to 100 when we actually start the
100 that we all agree on. Okay, that's fair.
I think if we go a little bit above, then I think our final should be that. But if we have a little bit more than that, we can give a little bit of a leeway if we vote some of those guys a lot lower than maybe what we expect.
Also considered.
Yeah.
Were these 10 or whatever, but they were rated too low on these categories or some shit.
Who knows? It's like the 65th team on the on the NCAA tournament and stuff.
So I'm gonna.
all of us in the room, we're gonna have Jay Moore, 𝐀𝐄, Red August, and obviously the four of us are all gonna have input on this criteria. And that starts now.
Talking to Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
That was
I know,
Mike,
right?
Actually, that was Mike.
That was Mike? I thought that was 𝐀𝐄. I'm sorry. 𝐀𝐄, I see you back there. So I'll go ahead and start. For me, I'm gonna write these down as I go.
Cool.
Okay.
I think we may actually even have graphics. Who knows? We may get fancy this week.
We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Maybe we'll get fancy this week.
Bada boom, bada bing.
We ran out of time.
Hey.
All right.
I have a handful of that.
I got
saved too.
I'm going with impact. Impact is
Let's define what that means.
So how do you define impact?
Impact on the culture. Impact on.
So the very first thing has nothing to do with rapping.
So rapping. So a rapper that has impact on the culture. So impact as a rapper. Raise the roof. So
we're raising the roof to that kickoff. Thanks, Mike.
So rappers don't have impact. Okay, cool. We'll scratch that off the list.
No, you ain't gotta scratch it off.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But we'll scratch that off the list.
We can talk about it. It was just funny.
We'll just do cliche. Lyrical ability. I'm gonna do that one.
That's not necessarily always true either, though.
Lyrical ability. That's not that hard. I'm gonna do lyrical ability.
Because if we're talking about lyrical ability,
he's
so mad. We're talking about lyrical ability.
We'll just do lyrical ability. I mean, that's obvious. Like I thought we was gonna try to make it creative.
No, we are.
Lyrical ability. We'll do that one.
Let's stick to what
define impact and what you mean as
that's
far
what I mean.
as
Let's
MCs
talk about
and
impact.
rapping. Go ahead.
If we're all going to say that this person has impact, we need to know exactly what that means.
Yeah, like how can I rate that?
All
right, so let's see. Impact would be moving the culture forward. You could do sales standpoint. You could do influence in terms of other rappers rapping like said person.
I like that one more than sales.
For example,
it's got to be more specific than just impact.
So we'll say
what we're getting at.
Yeah. So if we said it, like for example, I don't want to use anyone obvious.
But what you just said, I like influence on other rappers. I think that's a great one.
The way you were breaking it down, I think, are good criteria.
Yeah, like I mean, to me, if you have that type of influence on the culture and you influence people that come after you, like that's dope.
That's huge.
That's dope.
I completely agree with that. What do you guys think of that? Influence on
That sounds good to me, man. We just busting your chops.
No, I'm good. I was gonna go. We can go.
I mean, we're gonna start
lyrical
off
ability. That's fine. I mean, that's easy to me. Like,
no, it's not.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
To me, that's very easy.
It's
But this is
nuanced.
the beauty
very
of this.
debatable, but influence makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
influence for
You
me.
can hear that. You can.
I think I like influence on other people that are
No
doing the
question.
same thing that you're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So if this is a rapper, we're talking about rappers, right? Best MC of all
Yep.
time. We're not talking
Yes.
about best rapper that sold the most records necessarily. If you are a rapper that sell a lot, but you're also influence a lot of people, to me that is a big one.
Facts.
Yeah, definitely, because considering the fact that people are coming up under you, so even the people that we rank have had some kind of influence.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense.
And that also gives peace to the historic, the founding MCs as well.
Yeah, that might miss being on a list based on certain criteria.
Yes, sir.
So
I like it.
can we take this? Can we boil this down even further, though? I mean, it's still
To what? In this instance.
so influence. So influence. How do we actually define how much influence a rapper has on somebody else? I'm one of those type of people. So
I mean-
it's just. Is it just
I mean, I
based
guess
upon our opinion of what we think that they may have influence
Ultimately,
on?
that's what it's going. All this comes down to.
It's all gonna be opinionated. A lot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, but we can narrow a lot of it. Is all I'm saying.
You know,
I don't know, man.
you're going to know who the influencee and the influencer were. Like when
Influence
we
kind
look
of
at all
leads to
this stuff.
style as well.
Potentially, but I see that as very different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's
Potential.
related.
Yeah.
It's in there.
So we're just gonna say influence of.
People who, like you said before, people who are doing the same or similar thing.
Okay.
What do you guys think about that? The three gentlemen here.
I agree. I like the people who are doing the same thing as you, like
Right.
mimic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
All
Jay
right.
Moore, what do you think? Do you think that's a good, or what are we not thinking about as we're
You can
discussing
just pass the
this?
mic if you want.
Yeah.
We'll be all right. Yeah. Bob Waffin.
No, I
Stupid.
I think that's fantastic part of the conversation, but I do think, and this is something that is going to hurt a lot of people on the list, the ability to perform live.
Oh, that's a good
We'll
one.
get there.
We'll come back to
But
that
what do
one.
you think about influence
I like that.
as a criteria?
Influence as a criteria, I think, is something that should be counted. It's something
Okay.
that we definitely
That's
need
what
to
we're
talk
asking
about.
there.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool.
Yeah.
Pass it to Kato. We want to ask
I'm
him
in
the
it.
same thing. What are we not thinking about as far as influence as a category, or do you agree with
I don't know what you're saying, Mike.
what that with what that means?
I agree.
Okay.
The only thing I could think of is when you say influence, the first people I think of is the Migos. I know they won't be on the list, but they are, you know what I mean? Like
100% influence in the culture.
Less so when you say influence.
That's going to
I
go
think
into
of-
how we make the pool, though.
Yeah. They
But I know
definitely.
they
They might make
You know
the
what I'm saying?
list.
So they might make the pool
They
just
might make the
might.
list, man.
They just might.
because I agree with you 100%.
well,
So
didn't Drake influence the Migos? So
Well, there
I
we
mean,
go.
I think a lot of people
Didn't Bone
influence the Migos,
influence the
but
Migos?
that's my own 2 cents. So
All right, so we're just going to do
I like that.
influence and
yes,
influence on
so that is
peers.
the criteria.
Influence
I
on
can dig that.
peers. Yep, I'll write
I
that.
can dig that.
Number one, influence on peers. Very
Yep.
good.
Spools, go ahead.
Vocabulary, and the way that I define vocabulary is the use of different words, the lack of repetition of the same word over and over again. The ability to maybe vocabulary isn't the best way to say it. Maybe it's lyrical depth or something to that
So-
where you can use a
Wordsmith.
lot of wordsmithing, I guess is
I
another way
have
to say it.
something that
Wordplay?
might go with that, maybe
Okay.
to help. What about bar, metaphors, similes, and impact? Does that
Minus
take?
the impact part, but yes.
Is it though?
The impact, I don't
Well,
think
tell me what you mean
necessarily
by that.
goes with it. I don't think.
What do you
So
mean by that?
bar impact meaning you can have a dope bar and it doesn't have to be a metaphor or I think of Sean Price
Yes.
a lot of times.
Yes.
Or somebody who's not crazy Nipsey Hussle maybe. You don't have a crazy lyrics, but what he's saying because of who he is has such an impact on what he's saying.
Very
So
potent.
so you can almost
Variations.
rank that impact with similes and metaphors, or they could subtly be separate, I guess, as well.
No,
I'm
I
not
like
mad at
that.
that.
I like overall. I like the way that Terry defined it. I would say like wordsmithing.
Yeah.
That's so hard to define for me. Like wordsmithing is a lot more general, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
But we know what we're driving at, right? Like I think we all I just don't know what
if we're creating the
word
criteria, it's just creating
I've seen that before.
right word. That,
That's what I mean. So it's
So
like the
unique
use
words.
of unique words, I guess.
So use of unique word. So just
Hold on, before we wrote it down.
vocabulary and
The use of unique words.
so just unique
should probably
vocabulary.
just-
Yes,
yeah.
unique vocabulary.
Unique vocabulary.
What do you guys think, Mike?
I can
Yeah.
ride with that. I can ride with that.
Okay.
I'm
Mike,
in with that.
Terry, what are we not thinking about?
As far as
Using that as a criteria.
I think
so, my idea of a criteria or expounding upon
With-
this?
Expound
good
on
with what-
vocabulary or
yeah.
the unique use of
Unique
unique
vocabulary.
words.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
I think
All
that
right.
works.
You guys, same thing. Is that a valid criteria for what we're doing? Vocabulary and the use of unique words.
and we can have more as well.
Yeah.
but-
Oh yeah, no, we're going to keep doing this until we come up with all the right criteria.
No, I think that's it's something that I understand where people want to have that as a category because I think it's important, but that's when we get into the spherical, lyrical, metaphorical, you know what I'm saying? Like
Spherical,
not necessarily though, because I think we can take that. I think
It
we can
depends
have.
on the point system.
I think we can have a separate category that is similes, metaphors, and impact. Maybe.
because some of those that's true. That's true. It's just like some of those there are rappers who kill that with the crazy vocabulary, but really aren't great songwriters.
I also want
For sure.
everybody to keep in mind too that this is just going to be one of many criteria.
For sure.
That
Certainly,
we're all going to
certainly.
have the opportunity to share what we think. That's you know what I'm saying.
I'm,
so
I'm,
this
I'm
is
with
just number
unique
2.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
put-
vocabulary and being able to put actual words together. If it's just good, because there are some people they base their entire opinion on this one category, and to me, it's not the most important thing.
For sure.
It tends to get
And so
boring.
like to have it as one part of maybe a 7-point or 7 or a 10-point system or whatever we're going to come up with.
Right.
Okay, as long as that it doesn't weigh it down, because then automatically
No.
someone's going to be like, well, Eminem wins, and I don't want to do
It
that.
always the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel you though. That makes sense. All right, Red August. What do you think about using it?
I like it. I'm glad you guys broke it down because initially, I think that because you sound smart doesn't always mean you're smart. You know what I'm
At
saying?
all.
Like if you can be the
People
smartest
know
guy in
this.
the world, but if you can't
Thank you.
relate that information
How
to people
convenient.
around you, like the masses, then
Sure.
But I'm glad you broke it down because initially that's what I thought. So after the breakdown, I like what you said.
But that can even be its own. Like that's funny to come back. I'm going to come back to that too, as a potential criteria. But
Right.
anyways, Kato, what do you think about that? Vocabulary.
I think that's a good idea. I actually have a chart here
Yeah.
that could potentially help.
It's actually graphable. Yeah, it's like a
so,
yeah.
but the only thing I have with that is
Put the mic in front of your face, man.
sorry, can you
Yeah.
guys hear me?
There he is.
The only question with that is then you have like the debate of is like DMX better than 𝐀𝐻 because 𝐀𝐻 Rock has
But then that's
But you
where
want
all
that.
the
Yeah.
other criteria come into play.
That's where the other criteria comes in.
Yep, this is just that criteria. So our 2 criteria right now that we're going to grade, that we're going to talk about all this stuff is influence upon peers and vocabulary and use of unique words. Those are the 2 that we've just gotten so
I've got
far.
2 that I think we can knock and get out of the way really quick.
Cool, go for it.
I think metaphors, similes, and bar impact. We could say, which is almost word play. So it's
I like that better.
it's
I like
taking
I like
better.
wordplay
Yeah.
better.
so, but it's wordplay embodies those things, right? So wordplay would embody like some rappers will do similes, some will do metaphors, some will just have
That's
impact.
the bigger umbrella.
That's
Is
the
that the same
umbrella.
thing as vocabulary though?
No,
no.
because vocabulary is just the type of words that you're using and how, and so you're not rhyming the same stuff over and over again. You're saying stuff unique. This is how you're saying stuff in this. Of course, a simile you're using like or as, right? Metaphor is you're using kind of, you're painting pictures a little bit. Bar impact, you're more so using kind of your influence to kind of paint things, in my opinion.
Storytelling.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. But different rappers do the same thing, but it's really the same thing, depending on what you listen to somebody for.
Okay.
We could potentially put those together, or we could just have one separate that's just similes and metaphors, and another one.
I like wordplay.
I like wordplay.
Does-
Because I think
Okay.
it encompasses
goes
all of what you
together.
just said, and it is distinguished from vocabulary.
Does that
In
encompass
my
all the
opinion,
things
it
that I
kind of
said, though?
still is the
Wordplay?
same.
Does-
It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of in that same realm.
I don't think it is.
Wordplay versus
I mean, it's
unique vocabulary.
I think they're different. No.
I think they can be. I think they're close, but I don't think they're the same.
So instead of, so you're saying it would just be bars. What about just? That's too general.
There you go. Yes.
But I do think metaphors, similes, and bar impact, because that covers everything that somebody's going to do, and those three things can be what we call wordplay.
Let's put a pin in that one. And what was the second one you had?
Delivery.
Delivery is great.
Delivery
I
and
love
syllables.
delivery.
Delivery, syllables.
I love delivery.
Yes.
And how,
I like delivery a lot.
I can kind of G for that a little more, just basically because all three of those are closely intertwined.
Exactly.
In my opinion. So if we have three separate categories that are pretty much similar to the same category, it's kind of taking from other elements that other artists may have.
Sure.
Because those are all three things that I think one certain type of rapper is going to have,
But
or
you
MC.
do you agree? You think delivery is too? Or do you think delivery
not
is
necessarily
different?
because delivery
is different.
Yeah, delivery is different.
Do you think
because
delivery
that kind of
should
goes
be
with the cadence?
Do you think delivery should be a criteria?
I think it should be one.
I think so.
If it's not a criteria, I'm walking off the set.
I think delivery
I'm
should
done
be a
with this
criteria.
podcast.
I'm the only rapper on the set right now. So it's like
that's for general agreements. Do you guys all agree with that? Head nods.
Yeah, I'm with delivery.
Head nods.
I think definitely delivery.
Go ahead, Red August. Tell us what you think. There.
Delivery has to encompass like how. Maybe I'm taking it too far, but
I mean, it goes with the track itself, because if somebody's not riding the beat correctly, if they're not giving you the right cadence to make either that beat shine or of course their lyrics sound well, then
Kill
what
the
are they
whole
doing?
song.
Yeah,
kills the whole song.
See,
true. But
to me, that's someone's style. Like, let's say like Silk the Shocker, right? I would never say he's the best rapper, but his style is to
say
rap
that
off beat.
if he's your favorite rapper, he's your favorite rapper.
But his style is to rap
because
off beat.
he would get
his delivery is not
would
good.
be a 0.
Yeah, within his style, his delivery
He
is
might
trash.
get style points for something.
I guess,
if we had style as a category, his delivery points would just.
He's
just
maybe
not
style
good
should
at
be a
like Childish
category.
Gambino, right?
Here's the
He's
issue.
kind of a low energy kind of rapper, right? Versus
You said Childish Gambino is a low energy type rapper?
yeah,
No, not
You
really.
sure about that?
yeah. I listen to his music.
Is this a great conversation?
You sure about that?
All right,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Okay.
I can't listen to like Redbone and
So
call it like
when
a
we
low
talk about,
energy
can I
song.
just say really quickly, when I speak on delivery,
Visit that one.
we have Royce the 5'9" and we have Gucci. They can both sound good on a beat because they sound good on it, but Royce has a way better delivery than what Gucci has.
How are they riding that beat? And is the well, I guess beat can't really be an influence on it because we're not doing a producer MC category.
That's why I said delivery with syllable use and stuff like that as well.
I can dig it.
You know, like
I think what you said as far as style is
rhyming,
key, though.
syllable,
Yeah.
delivery.
I think style should definitely be
that'd
on
have
the
to
list.
That'd have to be defined
Essentially,
too.
yes.
Yeah.
We have to define that potential. So
I like style.
we all agree on delivery. So we
Yeah.
have 3 criteria. Terry, what's a
Did
criteria?
we define delivery? Because I'm not 100 on
Oh,
what
did we
delivery
not?
is.
I was good on.
I think we kind of went over
delivery.
it as far as how
Yeah.
We kind of did, but I don't.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I don't understand what it is right now. So what is delivery?
Oh, what you said made sense to me.
Which
When he
t-
talked
which one?
about the ability to get in the pocket and ride the beat, how you deliver the bars,
So in the pocket syllable. So we
cadence.
all that type of
syllables,
stuff.
Can we write that down with
Yep,
it?
I can put that on there.
I think syllables would be a part of it. Yes.
I just want to make sure that it is.
Yep.
You know, and how that's used. Some rappers will rap a lot and then they will say like one rhyming word at the end.
Yes.
the super duper flow. I think that's retired.
I hope so.
Does
hope
voice
so.
have to do with delivery in any way?
Voice, I think, would be separate.
Or that would be more stuff?
That's kind
I
of
think-
cadence too, though.
I think voice could go into style.
Yep. Me too.
Cadence would be in delivery, though.
okay.
Cadence
I
and syllables.
agree.
We said cadence.
I think
syllables.
cadence, syllables, and
What was it? You said something else. There was another one. Yeah, cadence. Syllables.
cadence could be separate too, though. Man, this is where it gets hard.
It's tricky.
It can get pretty,
No, it was like
pretty granular.
syllables and
Under delivery, it was cadence, syllables, and I felt like it was something else that I missed. Maybe there wasn't a third one. It's cool. Maybe it was a third one.
Yeah.
I thought
So
there was
ability
a
to
third
write a beat. That's what Terry kept saying.
Is that
I don't know if
okay?
That's like,
That's fine. That works.
That's cool.
Yeah.
all right.
Voice should matter, I think.
Yeah, because I remember somebody told me that they don't like Scarface because of his voice.
I've heard people say they hate Lupe because of his voice.
Yeah.
I know people that will tell you that to your face.
That's
Yeah.
sad.
So that one might be easy. We could just do rapper voice.
Rapper voice.
That would be-
Rapper voice, it kind of sounds whack. though.
But does it embody? I mean, we can just put
Does
voice.
it go towards being the best?
Voice tone. I think so because there's people I will not listen to
Like,
if their
I
voice
mean,
is whack.
it's like Boosie. You know
Some
what I'm
people
saying?
should
You
just be
can't
writers.
listen to a whole.
Yeah.
I can't personally. I don't know
Don't
about.
say
Well,
that.
there's a lot of people that
Yeah.
can. Me
Tons of
personally,
people
I
that can.
can't listen to a whole album worth of Boosie.
I can't listen to Eminem with his
And
high
I'm not
pitch
saying I
at
don't
all.
like Boosie, but I can't listen to
a whole album. Yeah. I'm in that boat
Then
with
maybe
you, sir.
voice should be.
Yeah. I'm in that
But
boat with
Terry,
you.
what did you have on your mind as far as a criteria we've not mentioned that would be unique?
I put one in Portal,
I would add
which
that
was
one. Voice?
consistency.
That's a good
Consistency.
one.
So
And-
I didn't I didn't like how you defined it, but go ahead. We'll talk about that. Go
All
ahead.
right. Well, I mean, it can embody a lot of things, but this is just me on the fly typing because I wanted to put it in there
Yeah.
and wanted to have some kind of meaning.
Got it.
So consistency, saying that not just in the release of this artist's material, but remain a contender amongst peers, because people can consistently drop music, but what kind of goes back to
Impact.
influence,
Influence.
impact,
Okay.
things like that. As far as if it really means anything, you know what I'm saying? Because if people aren't consuming what you're dropping, does it really mean anything?
Then I would think so. You said a lot of different things there, but I would think it would come down to me to album sales. That's the
On
that's
consistency?
What it all. No, I think that's way different. But you just said all those different things. All those things I thought you said were different. I don't think consistency has anything to do with what your peers are doing.
What
I think
about
consistency
relevancy?
has 100% to do with what you have done throughout your career. And
Right.
and
the
the
only
quality
reason
of
that I
music
mentioned
you've made.
peers is because somebody else can be just as consistent as you,
Sure.
but there's no impact or influence, or people aren't consuming it.
But
That could just be connected to likability
Or relevance.
or business.
or business. Yeah, all three of those things.
However, album sales, like if you just strip it down, do you think
I mean, if we're gonna go that route, we can.
the best
I don't
ever
put anything
is
in.
what we're going to end up coming down to? Jay Moore has an opinion on album sales
Well, no, I mean, when we talk about consistency,
or just sales in general.
sales in general, I really don't think that should factor into it. I mean, that sounds. I understand where some people feel like that should be a thing, but to me, the most consistent group in the history of hip hop has been De La Soul, and record sales have never really been their thing.
Yeah, they don't tie together. in that
You
way.
know,
Correct.
or you know, or you could say Outkast because their record sales have
That's
been
what I was gonna say.
there.
Yes.
But I'm talking, you know, when you talk
Common.
about consistency, there's never been a drop off as far as the quality of what they've
It's
put
got to be
out.
quality related.
Commons made consistently incredibly good music.
You know,
during those stretch of time you guys always talk about where he made 4 or 5 albums in a row that were just
you know, other than
incredible. You know, what
other
I mean?
than his only dip to me was Universal Mind Control and Nobody Smiling.
Nobody's smiling when he.
You know, but you know,
outside of that, doesn't matter. He's incredible.
I would
but
agree
you know,
with
when you're
those
talking
two.
about somebody who's been putting out records since what 2000 or 1990.
Yeah,
5.
it's got to be
93?
high
All
quality.
right, so back to Terry's
So
point about
consistency,
high
has-
quality
you know,
That's what I'm
content.
looking for.
It's gotta
but
be
I
high-
don't think record sales should factor
That's what
into
I'm
that
looking
at all.
for.
It's got to
So-
be yeah.
Okay, I agree. I don't think record sales should. So Terry, back to that point. What are some other things that you would define consistency with? And we might be almost here at time, so maybe you can think about that and pick it up.
We can continue though. I mean,
Next time.
we can wrap this up.
Some of the things I said, because I necessarily didn't even mention record sales as
Okay.
far as consistency was concerned. It's more of the consistency of actually dropping
You say consuming,
Quality
or
material.
consuming. Yeah,
When I
definitely
hear
consuming
consuming, I
quality
think-
material.
selling. I think people.
So consistent quality material.
That's all I need. Consistent quality material.
Does that embody it?
That's all I need.
Does that embody what you're
Consistency?
thinking?
consistent
For me.
quality releases.
I would
material.
say so.
That's all I need.
I'm okay with
that's
that.
all
But
I
how
need.
does consumption play into that? Because if you're just not as popular as someone else, you can still.
I didn't say consumption.
No,
I guess.
not you. I'm talking more to Terry. Like you had mentioned, consumption plays into that. Like Dell is an incredible MC that made some pretty consistent music, but he's not going to sell as much as somebody else. Who
Well, I'm
maybe
not
made
necessarily
consistent music.
saying
You know what I'm saying?
sell. I mean, because we're in a different era now. So
So listen to-
selling versus streaming. So you might have people that stream the hell out of your music but don't buy it.
Those are, but
Yeah.
that stuff's
when I
kind of
think
irrelevant.
consume, I guess more it's how do you define consume?
Consuming is actual ears on the project, people
Okay.
listening to it.
Right.
Is
But
how I would.
that requires purchase typically of some sort or a stream or something like that. That is measurable.
Definitely
With a number.
Because
that's
like,
what I was trying to
for
just make, strip it
example-
down and make it easier.
For
but
example,
they're very
there might
different.
be an artist that people really liked or enjoyed at one point in time, but their consistency or the content of what they are talking about may not be relevant. They may not have stood the test of time per se. So somebody like Daylight's last album, in my opinion, was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
So I wouldn't say just because they didn't go diamond or platinum that they're not considered a factor as far as being consistent.
It's the material quality.
right.
Yes.
That's it for me. It boils down to consistently dropping high quality product. Period. I don't care
Right.
about nothing else. I don't care about the streams, the consumers. I don't care about sales, none of that. Do you consistently drop heat? That's all I need.
See, that's different than what we were just talking about.
Well,
I'm okay with that definition. That
That's
makes
all I
sense
need.
to me.
I don't need nothing else but that.
But to me, that's different than consumption.
Well, maybe we just
Yeah, I mean,
Drop
we just
consumption out.
drop the
Yeah.
All right, that makes
consumption
sense.
out of it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
So-
But that could be its own category potentially too. Like
I don't think so.
maybe
Consi-
though. I'm just saying.
consistent
Like,
high.
I know,
So
I'm just saying.
consistently dropping high quality music. Fair?
yes.
We good?
Yeah, that's
Does that
a
make
good one.
sense?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it.
I think
Y'all
that's
wanna
enough
stop there. That's
for,
enough for now.
We could stop or we could. I
That's
mean,
how
it's
many
up to y'all.
You want
categories?
to do one
Four?
more? I think we got.
I've got two other that I could throw out there,
Go ahead.
and we can just maybe say yay or nay.
All right.
And maybe this goes along with the consistency one, or maybe it's separate. What about song enjoyability?
That's that's
Yeah.
super subjective. Yeah.
I think let's talk about that next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
that's
about how good? How about beat selection and how rappers sound over specific beats?
That's going. Yeah.
That does say something about. Yeah.
We just talked about Gibbs. I was giving him props for
He
his ear.
knows. He knows he's got the ear.
Rick
So,
Ross has an incredible ear for production.
What about this? Is just throwing something out there since I think we're kind of at the point now where we can just throw some shit out
absolutely.
there
Yeah.
real quick
Yes.
Yeah.
and kind of rehash it next week. What about like somebody that can drop an album that's
cohesive.
cohesive and enjoyable from beginning to end?
Mm-hmm.
That's
another
tough.
one.
That's
About
tough.
Prince Paul, he did that extremely well.
That's tough.
You know,
It's tough
he
to
did
do that.
But he's a
That
producer.
kinda
Sorry, he's a
goes-
producer. He doesn't really.
Yeah, that
rap,
kind of
but yeah.
goes into concept album.
Kendrick's albums are very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
much
tough.
He does that extremely well.
Everybody-
I think something you said earlier should be its own category, and that is stands the test of time.
Yeah.
To me, that is its own quality,
It's going to be really hard to.
and it is subjective.
It's going to be hard to
some
judge
degree.
some of that with
Yeah.
because again, you're talking about material or you're talking about artists, right? We're talking about MCs. So
Correct.
And a lot of these MCs are a lot of newer that may kind of brush up on these categories. We don't know yet, do we?
I think that the best we can do
Or we can
is take
gauge
a
it.
look at the music that.
They put out so far.
Yes, I mean that, but then like go back 10 years, and what was hot 10 years ago? What does anyone still listen to that now? 5 years ago,
For sure.
3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, and see if anybody's listening to any of that shit.
It kind of
now.
goes.
There's
with
some
But
music
go
consistency
back
as well.
25, 20 years farther. Go back 25 and 30 and 35 and 40. I just went and saw Elton John's movie, man. That dude he's been making music for 50 years.
All
You know what I'm
mu-
saying? Like,
So we'll just do a finalization of categories next week then.
Yeah. That's a good point because all
lot
music
of,
doesn't
a lot
age
of his
well.
real good. I mean, we were just talking. Sean and I were talking about this beforehand. That shit's 40 years old, man.
Yeah.
Some of that music he put out, it was incredible. 40 and come on, man.
Any Patreons, if y'all want to shoot some,
Please.
Yes,
some
please do.
categories you think and actually define them.
Yeah.
And if you feel like if there's something we didn't consider with the 4 that we have, let us know.
And this is a so far. This is not where we're stopping at.
Yeah, we're not stopping.
I think we
here.
got a good solid.
We got a good start.
4 or 5 or so.
Yeah.
I think we'll end up with a few more.
couple
but-
more. Yeah.
This is gonna be fun though.
Yeah.
There's
There's
so
things
many
we're
ways
not
you can go.
considering. We know that right now, but we'll talk about next week. But please feel free to please comment and let us know what you think. So
Indeed.
All right.
I think that's going to do it for episode 139. We appreciate everyone for rocking with us. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to the Bringing Down the Band page. We got a lot of dope music that's coming up there, as well as our Patreon /New Old Heads. Tons of great stuff going on, a lot of opportunities to interact and be with us as well, special content, etc. And we will see you all next week. Peace.
I hope so.